Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha. Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha. Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha. Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Sativarnam Chaturbhujam. Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye. Yasyadviradavakradhya Parishadhya Parastatam. Vignam Nighnanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamastraye. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine. Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Krishnadvaipaya Namvyasam Sarva Bhuta Hiteratam. Vedabjabhaskaram Vande Samadhi Nilayam Munim. Janmadyasya yataha anvayat itaratascha arteshu abhignaha swarat. Tere brahma hridayah adikavaye mukhyanti yat surayah. Tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatritri sargo mrisha. Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Dharmah pruchida kaitavotra parabo nirmat saranam satam. Vedhyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayon moolanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrute kim va parairisvaraha. Sadhyo hrudi avarudhyatehe atra krutibihi sutrushubihi tukshanat. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. Sukamukat amrita drava samyutam. Srimad Bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasikaha bhuvi bhavukaha. Nayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam. Devim saraswatim vyatam tato jayamudirayet. Here the word Jayam means Mahabharata. You can remember that. Now, with Swami's prayer, let us continue from where we left off in our last session. We were sharing the nectarine teachings about Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kapila Bhagavan, in response to Devahuti's question and to teach her, she told her she will teach him, he will teach her the Sankhya knowledge. Okay? As part of that, Bhagavan described how this whole creation comes about, right? And then that is all the parts of Kshetranga. It's called a Kshetra, temporary, transient. The Kshetrajna is the one who makes everything active, come up with life, so to speak. And then we came up to that point, and then we said, okay, so Kshetra, Kshetrajna, and in 72, Bhagavan is going to say that you must, the whole only reason that you have that Kshetram that has been blessed, that you are blessed with, is to know, seek and know the Kshetrajna, right? So that is coming up in Slokam 72, which we have not taken up yet. But before going to 72, who's a Kshetrajna, what is it? So the same question Arjuna asked when Bhagavan came as Krishna Bhagavan, Krishna Avataram. Swami, tell me, about the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Who is it? What is it, Kshetra? Who is it, Kshetrajna? Tell me about Prakriti, and tell me about what is Jnanam and what is Ajnanam. I want to understand that. Okay, then Swami described, we saw in Bhagavad Gita in Adhyayam 13, Slokam 5 and 6, Bhagavan described very briefly but very eloquently. I cannot put adjective to Swami's word, but so sweetly in such a simple manner that I can relate to it. He says what Kshetrajna is. This is Kshetram, very briefly I've told you. Then automatically the question comes. Swami, I'm a Kshetram. Right now, the way I'm feeling about myself, this body, this mind, I've got all these ahamkaram and buddhi and mind and indriyangal and everything else, right? And the antakaranangal are there, right? And my body is made of the panchabhutangal. All these are there. So I am a Kshetram, right? Then what is it? How can I know this Kshetrajna? That's the true knowledge. How can I do that? So what is that knowledge? What is that jnanam? That is what Swami is describing. And then he will point to the Kshetrajna. So in what is this jnanam and how do you define jnanam, right? The question comes, knowing which nothing else is there to be known. Everything gets known once you know this. That is the way jnanam is defined. Bhagavan, Aikyam, one with Bhagavan. But how is it possible at my level, right? So various qualities that I can, that will start, man, these qualities are all something I don't have to develop them because you, me and everything else is inherently divine only. It is that we have got all the divine qualities and then we can go beyond the qualities also. Because each one of us is divinity only the same way. But I have to manifest it. The inherent, the latent divinity has to be manifested. That is the reason that Kshetram is given. Once I start manifesting, that is up to me. That willpower I have, that free will I have. I can either look to divinity within me, in which case it manifests itself, or I can look at the Kshetra, all the creations, and the divinity stays in the background. So once these various qualities start manifesting, what are those qualities that happen to me? That is what we are talking in Slokam 7, in Adhyayam 13 in Bhagavad Gita. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, shantihi, arjavam, acharya upasanam, saucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha. We came up to saucham in our last session. Now, the stairyam means perseverance, determination. Come what may, I'm not going to give it up. That's stairyam, that quality. Then atma vinigraha is self-control and also humility. Okay, in Tamil we call it a tannadakam. Okay, it is not only self-control in the sense of niyamam, yes, it is also included in there, but also tannadakam, the one of humility and courtesy and politeness and inherent reverence to a much more supreme force that is in play, and I'm doing the mission of the supreme force, right? So that humility, that reverence, along with that is born the sense of self-control, right? And that mindset, that approach to life is very important. That is Atma Vinigraha. Then Slokam number 8, Indriyarteshu Vairagyam Anahankaraha Evacha Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darsanam. Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darsanam. Indriyarteshu Vairagyam Anahankaraha Evacha Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darsanam. The next one that comes, Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam. Not be bothered with the various sense objects that keep attracting the senses. The senses are functioning. Nothing wrong in eating, nothing wrong in seeing, nothing wrong in hearing, but everything in limit. Allowing in order for me to live, yes, I have to see where I'm going. Beyond that, what I see and what I hear and what I eat, I'm really not bothered with it, not interested or attached to it. It's very important. This Vairagyam is pulling away the mind from the attractiveness of the sense objects. The senses must continue to perform their duty. They're also divine entities, divine tools. Very important. They're all called matras. Matra means measure, everything within limit only. Every one of my indriyangal is limited. It cannot function beyond its limitation. So, and it will be used for the purpose it has been given. not beyond, not overdo it. That's the problem that we have, isn't it? If you eat, I eat too much. If I like something, I take too much of it. If I hear a gossip, I want to hear more of it. So many problems we have in our life. But that controlling that is up to me. Through my mind, I must say, no, I'm going to withdraw. It's very important. And we see something attractive in a shop, my eyes perceive it, immediately I go after it. Why? Control. So that moment I start exercising that control, automatically this vairagya will develop from the sense objects. The senses will continue to perform. That is their job. But I will not be attached or bothered or concerned with the attractiveness of the sense objects. So, indriyateshu vairagya. Anahamkara. This is, Swami, without ahamkaram. This is so important. How can I get this, Swami? Anahamkara. This is, then, see, Bhagavan has described earlier on in Adhyayam 3, Adhyayam 4, and Adhyayam 2, and in Adhyayam 12, Bhakti Yogam, Dharmyamrutam, he says, Karma Palatyagam, you practice it, that is enough. That is what Ahankar, Anahankaram will come. That is one result, immediate result of practicing Karma Palatyagam, which is the Amrutam, the Dharma Amrutam, the Dharmiya Amrutam. That is the Swami gives topmost importance to that. Okay, that is the pathway to surrender, the final Sharanam, only through Karma Palatyagam. And that, the moment I start practicing that, automatically this Ahamkaram will also start manifesting itself. Anahamkaraha yevacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darsanam. Now darsanam here means just not seeing, mentally seeing it, mentally thinking about it, reflecting on that, a janma, the birth. Why am I born? Why is so much suffering in this world? Not only me, but so many other people are suffering. There's not lack of suffering. Every suffering gets cured also with time. Okay, if not in this birth, in the next birth. But the problem is the world is full of dukkham only. Okay, and so we think about why am I born? Janma. Then mrityu. Okay, no, I'm born. I'm going to die one day. Think about death. Jara vyadhi. Jara means old age. Birth and death and old age. There's all those vyadhis are different illnesses, mental illnesses, right? Agitations. Every time I lack peace of mind, that is an illness. Whatever the reason could be, whatever is triggering that, that's an illness I have. So why is it happening like that? Doshanu means those are defects. That is defects in me. That is preventing the effulgent shining of the divinity within me. These are defects. These are like clouds that's hiding it. So that darshanam, to think about it. What is it? Why did I get angry at this time? Okay, why am I restless? Why am I angry? Why am I not peaceful? Right? Why am I not happy? What is robbing me from my happiness? Right? So many ways we have to, each one of us to think about it. This is what to get this jnanam, all these things will manifest. The moment I start thinking about Bhagavan, automatically I'll start thinking about Janma dosha, then Janma dosha, Mrityu dosha, Jara dosha, Vyadhi dosha. All these things I'll start thinking about. Because the fault, the defect, the dosham lies within me, not in anybody else, not in anything else. Because the whole creation is nothing but divine. It is extremely beautiful and selfless. Creation is selfless. It's a form of Bhagavan. But there is nothing wrong in the world. There's nothing wrong with the world, says Swami. The fault lies in your vision. Correct it. Correct it accordingly. Then we will see the beauty of the Swarupa Darshan. So that Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi by a dukkha doshanu darsanam. Then next slokam. Asaktihi anabhishvangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishta anishta upapattishu. Asaktihi anabhishvangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu. Now, putradara grihadishu. Putra in children, dara in spouse and wife, grihadishu in with house, home. In matters like these, grihadishu, in matters like this, asaktihi means not attached to them. So difficult, isn't it, at our stage? But that is, it is the moment I start thinking more and more about Bhagavan, this will happen automatically. The not attached to them. Yes, we will be loving to them, carrying out our duties, but this question of my, that will get diluted. Definitely it will get diluted, and you can experience it. Anabhishvangaha. You see, not only that this asaktihi means not attached to them. That does not mean you are abandoning them, but it's the same way that I cross a street, a street, I just cross it. I look around and then go. I'm not attached to the road, right? I'm not attached to the plane I ride in, for example, right? So I'll just do it. It will be like that. And whereas anabhishvangaha means without ownership over them. Okay? See, abhimanam. Abhimanam means ownership. Devabhimanam we have. Whereas we should have, I know I have the Devabhimanam means I have ownership over my body. I think I'm the owner. But in the wrong way, not the indweller. In the wrong way, I think I'm the owner. The body belongs to me. Now, the same way, the anabhishvangaha for putra dara grihadishu, all those without sense of ownership. Swami says repeatedly, all these are given for your enjoyment. Enjoy them, but only as a trustee, not as a owner. And the main problem, the fundamental problem that comes in our life is because of our desire, the acquisitive desire to acquire things. That's where the problem is. Whereas the knowledge is exactly opposite, to give up. The giving up desire, the sacrificial desire is where the amritam is. The giving up is where it is not to own. So, anabhishvangaha putra dara grihadishu. Then, ishta anishta upapattishu. Now, I like, ishtam, whatever I like, whatever I desire happens. Upapattishu, it happens. And whereas anishta, what I do not desire also happens. So, it could be loss, it could be gain, it could be success, it could be failure, it could be praise, it could be humiliation, it could be praise and also false accusation. So many things happen in life, false and blame, so many things. Acceptance, rejection, so many things we go through in life. So, ishta, anishta, upapattishu, when that happens, regardless of what it is, nityam always, sama chittatvam, equanimity, sukha dukkhe same krutva is what he's talking about. Karma palatyagam is a road, pathway, entrance, and karma palatyagam can be done only when I offer it to Bhagavan. I cannot say, no, I'm not bothered about the result. I cannot do that. I have to say, Swami, you take care of it. Then automatically I decouple from the desire for the result. So the more I think about Swami, automatically this thing comes in. Samachittatvam, equanimity will start developing. That quality. Number 10. Maicha ananya yogena bhaktihi avyabhicharini. Maicha, in me. Ananya yogena bhaktihi. The Swami describes this beautifully, repeatedly throughout Bhagavad Gita up to this point, and he's going to again continue to reinforce this point. This is a fundamental, and but in a different way, the same message comes in. Ananya yogena bhakti. See, there is a bhakti yogam. There is you can say, Anabhishvangaha Yogam, then we say Jnana Yogam, Karma Yogam. So everything in Sankhya Yogam, whatever we call it, they're all different pathways. And each pathway is for merging with Bhagavan, become one with Him, giving up the feeling of separateness, right? So here, Ananya Yogena, which means without taking Swami or Bhagavan as a stranger, as somebody different from me, right? Ananya. Anya means the other, or somebody else. Okay? Ananya means the without. In other words, Swami, I belong to Him and He belongs to me. I am His and He is mine. Without, no point in putting Bhagavan at a pedestal and then Swami, you are in Vaikuntham, you got this, you are that. No. He is in my heart and very much part of me. I am very much part of Him. That intimacy, closeness must develop. I must think that way. I must also think about Him without thinking of anything else. Both meanings are there. Ananya Yogena Bhaktihi, to love Him. Ananya Yogena Mayicha, in me. In me, not about me. Mayi means in me. So I cannot do this from outside Bhagavan and looking at Him. Swami, you are there in that picture, you are this. No, I am in Him. He is enveloping me. I am in that envelope. Ananya Yogena Bhaktihi. Avyabhicharini. This Avyabhicharini is important. Okay? And what it means is that without giving up the discipline and performing this Ananya Yoga Bhakti continuously, because mind will go all over the place, so many challenges come, so many difficulties come, obstacles come, they all will come. So then I tend to give it up. No, don't do that. Be firm, determined, like Dhruva was, Abhibhicharani, continuously without giving up. And if it is at 5 o'clock, I have an appointment with Bhagavan, I must go there at 5 o'clock, come what may, because Bhagavan is already come. So it must be more, we say, without giving up the regularity. Okay? That is what Abhibhicharani means. Then Vivikta Desa Sevitvam Aratihi Jana Samsadi. The Vivikta Desa Sevitvam. This simply means the preference and inherent preference for clean surroundings, clean places. The place has to be very clean. This is very important. Once I become one with Bhagavan, then it doesn't matter whether I sit next to a gutter or on top of a hill or I'm wearing rags or whatever, those things don't matter. But I'm not there yet. So as part of this, cleanliness is very important. Vivikta Desa Sevitvam. Swami said, the very first thing that you've got to do in spirituality, there are two things. One of the very first one is cleanliness in surroundings and body, the clothes we wear, right? See, you'll be amazed that some of these things were already taught right from a childhood. But I'm amazed to see there are many people don't even follow this. They don't even take bath in the morning when they get up, clothes are dirty. But that's the way people are. But if you want Bhagavan's company, I must follow this discipline of clean surroundings, cleanliness in the physical appearance and in body and all that before the mind can be cleaned up. Then Aratihi Jana Samsadi. Jana Samsadi Aratihi. In big gatherings and groups of people, so many things people talk about, right? Aratihi, absolute dislike. I'm not interested in that. Seriously, this happens. Once you start on the spiritual path, the groups of people where they get together and with cocktail parties or this or that or whatever it is, you really are not interested in that. Actually, you dislike it. This happens. Okay? Then Slokam number 11, which we hope Swami's grace will complete in the time that we have left. because that's what Swami says is Jnanam is. Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam. Etat Jnanam Iti Proktam. This is what is described as Jnanam. He has described all these, and then additionally he says Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Swami, you say that Kshetrajna is an indweller, while he is also without me, outside me, above me, behind me, my side and below me, and etc., and also in me and out of me. But okay, it's difficult for me to see all this. But I can picture if he is within me, then I must look to him. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And with Narayana Upanishad, Narayana Suktam very beautifully describes this. Narayana Suktam very beautifully describes where Bhagavan is present in our body and how he is present. Now, so this continuous persevering, determined search and inquiry to seek the indweller and to embrace him. That effort, that continuous, persevering, determined effort is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. That desire must turn into, an iota of desire must turn into a flagrant fire. It must be Avesam, that must overtake all other desires. That Vidamur, should be saying in Tamil, is that persevering, determined effort to seek and embrace him. That pull and push must be there, and that will also manifest itself once I start practicing Karma Phala Tyagam. Because remember, Bhagavan is describing this as a continuation after reinforcing the essentiality of Karma Phala Tyagam in the previous Adhyayam. He said, Dharmyamrutam, who follows the Dharmyamrutam is very dear to me, is what he says. Okay, so then he continues. Once I follow that, all these things will happen. Then, Tattva Jnana Artha Darsanam. This is the Tattva Jnana Artha Darsanam. What is the truth? What is this truth? What is the Satyam? What is the indweller? That entity that does not change. Absolutely. We saw Mahat Tattvam, it does not change. But then for all the things that came, manifested from Mahat Tattvam are all changing all the time. So what is it, that changeless thing? What is it? That Tattva Jnana Artha Darsanam. Then to know it, to taste it, and to experience it. These qualities, yetat, all these, Jnanam iti proktam. These are called Jnanam. Ajnanam yat atha anyata. Anyata. Ataha anyata. Anything different from this. Yetat Jnanam, this is what Jnanam is. And ataha anyata. Anything that is different from this, ataha anyata is ajnanam. Yet, which is ataha anyata, different from this, ajnanam proktam, is called ajnanam. So this is how Bhagavan describes what jnanam is. So kshetram, then he says, hey, there's a Kshetrajna here, but there's a jnanam, there's a knowledge required, and that's what Swami is going to talk about in Srimad Bhagavatam in Slokam 72. This jnanam you must develop. And what is this jnanam is what Krishna Bhagavan, we heard him speak here. Then with his grace, we will take up, and the Swami continues to describe himself, the Kshetrajna, in the next few slokams tomorrow with his grace. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukino Bhavanto. Samastalokaha Sukino Bhavanto. Samastalokaha Sukino Bhavanto. Om Shanti. शान्तिः शान्तिः हरिः ओम्